I am so excited that you're learning about EFT tapping. I love sharing EFT tapping with everybody because it is so empowering and it is a very powerful tool that anyone can do on their own time at any time. So you don't have to wait for a session to be able to work on something and make progress. You can be releasing stuff on your own, which is just amazing. And it's so doable. It's beyond simple and very effective. So what is EFT tapping? It stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's tapping. You're going to be tapping with your fingers on different meridian points in your body to help your body in releasing baggage and imbalances. So just like what I do in the session on your governing meridian, but this was using different meridians in the body and using tapping instead of swiping. But it still facilitates the body in doing its releasing and healing. So it's crazy, crazy helpful and powerful. So you'll actually literally be releasing trapped emotions, blocks, other kinds of imbalances from your body by tapping. It also helps calm the nervous system and helps your body release cortisol, which is really powerful because previously, we really thought that cortisol, which is your stress hormone, only gets, if you are super stressed and your cortisol level gets pumped up, which is super useful if you're in physical danger and need to run away or something like that. Otherwise, it's not that useful and it's pretty damaging. So if your cortisol level gets pumped up, it doesn't go down unless you exercise with cardio or sleep. And that used to be the two things we thought could get it down, but also EFT tapping and energy work gets it down as well. So, very cool. So in addition, aside from the energetic aspect of energetically healing and releasing blocks and baggage and imbalances and gumballs, getting them out of your system, people measurably have a reduction of cortisol and their nervous system also calms down. So it's super valuable because it's extremely easy. Anyone can learn it, and it's safe for everyone. Different energy healing modalities are more effective for different types of people who process a little differently. Some people process more emotionally, or energetically, or physically, and EFT tapping is helpful for all of them because it incorporates all of them, so it keeps you it's a very safe method, and it's also very grounding, so you don't end up at the end of the releases not feeling centered. There we go. So it's really I can't say enough of how wonderful it is that it's so safe and effective and easy. It is so easy. You can do it anywhere, anyone can do it, and you can learn it in just like 5 minutes, which you're going to do today. All right, so I'll also say that I'm not an expert on this. I'm not certified in EFT. I've been doing it for a while and it's been very, very helpful. And so I just want to share it with everybody, the basics, so everyone can be doing it. So I like to share it with everyone, all of my clients, so you can be releasing more stuff in between sessions. And if you'd like to study more or learn more about it, you can. There's books on it, Emotional Freedom Technique, videos, different levels of expertise and different practitioners. So if you want to learn even more ways to tap, get more skill, you can go research and find more. But this is just the very basics, and it's very, very powerful. Okay, so the way that you do it is use different governing or different meridian points on your body, and you start with the karate chop point, which is the outside of your hand on that fleshy point. And I like to make sure I get it well, so I use several fingers. And you just tap it. So I'll demonstrate it first. So you'll start with the karate chop point, and you tap. On any point you're tapping, you don't have to tap very hard. It can be really, really soft, and it will still be effective. And as you're tapping, which you'll be doing the whole time on different parts of your body, you can go fast or slow, just whatever feels right to you. So you start here, this is the first point, And while you're tapping, you're going to say a sentence 3 times in a row, and that kind of sets the stage, tells your body what you want it to work on, and gets it going and ready to start releasing. So you're going to pick an issue, a sensation, emotion, belief. You're going to pick something that you want to work on. So say I'm feeling anxiety in my stomach right now, then I'd pick that. And so I'd say, even though I'm feeling, and then say whatever the issue is, anxiety in my stomach, I totally and completely love and accept myself anyway. You're going to repeat that 3 times. Even though I'm feeling anxiety in my stomach, I completely love and accept myself anyways. Even though I'm feeling anxiety in my stomach, I completely love and accept myself anyway. So once you've done your 3 repetitions on the karate chop point, you're going to start going from the top of your head downward. You can use both hands or just one hand. You're going to start on the very top of your head, and you're just going to repeat whatever the issue or the symptom is, just kind of to remind your body what it's working on. All this anxiety in my stomach. And you're going to move to right on the inside of your eyebrow, right where your eye socket ends. I like to do 2 fingers just to make sure I get it. You're going to tap there. All this anxiety in my stomach. The next point is on the outside of your eye, just right to the outside, kind of on the edge or tip of, again, the socket. Not on your eyeball, but on your bone. You're going to repeat the symptom again. The anxiety I'm feeling in my stomach. The next point is at the bottom of the eye socket on that bone. All the anxiety in my stomach. The next point is under your nose, right there on the top of your lip. All the anxiety I'm feeling in my stomach. The next point is on the crease of your chin. All the anxiety I'm feeling in my stomach. And then you're going to do the kidney point. So you're going to go from your clavicle tip, you're going to go down 1 inch, over 1 inch, and then tap there. All the anxiety in my stomach. All right, after that, you're going to go under your armpit and down a few inches. So for women, it's going to be basically where your bra strap is. You can do one side, both sides. You can use the same arm, or you can reach across and do the other side and tap that point. All the anxiety in my stomach. And that's it. Those are all the points. Once you've gotten to the last point, you're going to take a couple deep breaths and listen in. And if the anxiety sensation is gone, then it's complete with anxiety. If it's still there a little bit, then you just start at the top of your head and you keep going. All the anxiety I feel in my stomach. And you go through again, doing the same, saying out loud the symptom until you finish. Pause, breathe, check in, and you do that until the anxiety goes down to 0. All right, so that's what it looks like. I'll just describe some more details on it. So your body is literally releasing energetic blocks while you're doing this. And often there's going to be layers. So when you're tapping, you're going to want to dig, which means if you release the anxiety and then stop, there might be other layers that were underneath the anxiety that you didn't address, and they're still there. And they're going to produce the same issue later today or tomorrow down the road. And you want to clear everything out, clear the whole cause all the way down to like the seed. Or if you're going to go weeding, you want to weed out the roots of the weed too, right? Not just the leaves on the top. So that's why we dig. So you start with whatever you're currently feeling, and then after you can feel that leave completely, you want to listen in, because usually you'll feel something else rise to the surface. And so then you'll tap on that, and once you feel that is gone, listen. Usually there'll be something new that's risen to the surface, and you just keep going, digging through each layer of whatever it is until you get to the root. Once you've gotten the root out, you listen in, and it will feel kind of calm, quiet. You won't have anything else rising to your attention. And that is when you have successfully tapped, used EFT. So let's go through. So I'm gonna do an example. Before I do, I'm gonna talk about tapping. Some people like to do both hands the whole time, and that's perfectly fine. Can get more tapping done that way. Or you can just use one hand, and it doesn't matter which one. You can even switch halfway through and use the other hand. It doesn't matter. It's going to work anyway. Your body's still going to be able to release. Even if you accidentally skip a point, say you skip the I here and you just go down here. If you accidentally skip a point once, you know, it's still going to work. It's so powerful, it's still going to work. Just do your best and just keep going. And you can just pick the tempo, whatever speed suits you, and you don't have to go hard. Sometimes people say like they feel tender or like bruised after, and you're probably going too hard. You can do it really softly. Also, you've got lymphatic drainage nearby here, so especially on this one, if you feel tenderness, it might be because you've got some congestion or inflammation going on. And that's fine. Just be soft with your tapping. Okay. Also, while you're tapping, you're gonna feel it start to dissipate, whatever it is. And sometimes it'll actually get stronger first. You'll be like, whoa, I really, like the anxiety is like getting bigger and bigger while I'm tapping, like I'm feeling it more. Whoa, that's weird that it's increasing. And then, oh, now it's decreasing. So if it gets bigger first, that's okay. Just keep tapping. Whatever you do, just keep tapping, because it's while you're tapping that your body's going to be doing the releasing. If you stop tapping, it's going to get stuck. So just keep tapping. You also might have images come to mind, or awarenesses or details on whatever it is that's causing the anxiety in your stomach. You might have some understanding of like, oh, yep, this was from, you know, that experience I had, or wow, this has something to do with my work or to do with a relationship. And you might not, and that's totally okay. Your body, you don't have to know everything about your gumballs or blocks in your body to be able to release them and heal. The things that you do need to know will come to your awareness either while you're releasing or afterwards. So don't stress about that. Okay. All right. I think we went through most of it. Okay, so I'll do a demonstration now. I'll just tap into whatever, listen in for anything that I've got going on. So the tapping works on anything, a belief, a sensation, an emotion, basically anything that you can experience or feel in your body. Tapping is going to work for that, because we can have trapped emotions, we can have other kinds of imbalances. So say I have a headache and I've got, there's actually some trapped emotions and some blocks and imbalances causing it. All I need to identify is the symptom or the experience that baggage is creating in my body. So all I need to tell my body is that we're going to work on this headache I'm having right back here. And then it will just go to work and start clearing and releasing any trapped emotions, any blocks out of the area. Okay? So, and the more specific you can be, the more efficient and effective it's going to be. Because if I tell my body just to work on my head, or any discomfort, or like the sensation of a headache, it'll go to work on that. But if I'm more specific of like, whoa, this headache that feels like pinching and stabbing on the right side of my head, that's where it's located. It's only on the right side. So if I can get really specific, it's almost like giving more clear instructions to the body as to what you want it to work on. So we'll start with that. Even though I'm feeling a headache and pinching and stabbing on the back right side of my head, I completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm feeling a headache with stabbing and pinching on the back right side of my head, I completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm feeling this really painful pinching and stabbing headache on the back right side of my head, I completely love and accept myself anyway. This really pinching headache with pressure, the pressure of this headache that's kind of pinching on the back right side of my head. The stabbing, pinching headache on the back right side of my head. This pinching, stabbing headache. All this pinching and stabbing pain in this headache on the right side of my head. This pinching and stabbing sensation and headache on the back of my head. The stabbing and pinching headache on the back of my head. This pinching, stabbing headache on the back of my head. That was a big yawn. Yawns are good. It's good movement. It often shows that my body is releasing stuff. And I'll just pause and take a couple of breaths and listen. So I can feel it's reduced a lot. I'd say by 75%. So because it's not all the way gone, I will just start at the top again. I don't need to restate because I don't need to tell my body the topic or the symptom that we're working on. It already knows we're working on the same symptom. So I'll start at the top and do it again. The headache, pinching headache in the back of my head. The stabbing, pinching headache in the back of my head. The stabbing, pinching headache on the back of my head. All of the stabbing and pinching headache on the back of my head. All the stabbing and pinching in my head. All the stabbing and pinching in this headache in the back of my head. All this stabbing and pinching headache on the back of my head. Okay. So now it's released. So that's gone, and now as I listen and I can feel a different, it's another sensation. It's in the same, similar area, but it's a different sensation. Kind of feels like, if I were to describe it, like a rod of pressure pressing on kind of the left side of my neck and head, almost like something was just pushing on me. So because that's different than the first sensation, we would address it as the second layer, as a new layer, a new sensation. So I would start again at the top, telling my body what sensation I want it to work on, what I want it to release. So I'd start here and say the sentence 3 times. Even though I'm feeling this tension, this pressure of a rod pushing on the back of my head and neck, I completely love and accept myself anyway. So I'd say that 3 times and then start from the top and tap down at each point, saying again whatever the symptom is, just reminding my body of what I want it to be releasing, and then breathe at the end to assess. You might have noticed I don't use the exact same words at each point. You don't have to. You can use different words. It can be nice to vary it just so it doesn't get repetitive. but also just expressing the details, because we want to give the body, we want to be specific and give it the details of what we want it to zero in on. Okay, anything else come up? Also breathing, taking deep breaths while you do it is very helpful, because breathing is just helpful in the body's process of releasing stuff, so breathing is going to be very helpful. It can also be helpful to gauge on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most painful, 0 being no pain at all, how intense the symptom is before you start tapping. And then after you finish, after you've done a full round, breathe and then listen again, and then reassess. So say this pressure, I'd say it's like a 4 out of 10. Then I would do a round, take some deep breaths and measure again. And it could be 0, it could be gone, or it could be maybe a 2 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10 or half. So if that's helpful for you to kind of stay focused and tuned into your body, you can use that scale of 1 to 10. All right, so the biggest thing after you've learned it, which you already have, you already know the points and the order to do it in, you just have to keep tapping. So when people say like, oh, it didn't do anything, it's often because they stopped before it was finished. So be really honest with yourself. So say I'm tapping on that pressure on my neck and head, and it's almost gone but not all the way, and I'm like, okay, that's good enough. Like, you got to stay with it and keep tapping, and well, you have to do your hand again. Keep going over and over again until it's really all the way gone. And then you've got to dig. So then listen, your body will probably bring up something else, and it might be in a different part of your body. We started on the head. The next thing that comes up might be some like electricity feeling in my thigh, and then like nervousness in my stomach, and then tension on the top of my shoulders. So it might be anywhere in the body. That's totally fine. Your body's just bringing you the next layer that needs to get released in order to heal or clear out the issue. So you want to stay with it and keep digging. And you want to give yourself plenty of time. So set aside time for this. It can take 20 minutes, it could take 45 minutes, especially when you're starting out. It might take longer. So I'd give yourself plenty of time, because you want to finish. If you don't finish it, people might say like, it keeps coming back, the same symptom keeps coming back. So tapping isn't working. And that could be because they didn't dig. They just did a couple layers and then stopped. All right. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer them. So just to review, you tell your body, you give it the instructions of what you want it to work on here by saying that phrase 3 times. And then while you're tapping on the points, you just say the symptom out loud again. And then keep doing that for as long as you need to until the symptom completely disappears. Listen for the next symptom and then start over on the karate chop point. And do that until nothing else comes to your attention. Okay, so what does this work for? What can you use EFT on? Anything. Like really anything. Because as I found in my sessions, and you've probably found through working with me or in any other energy healing modalities you've done, that there's usually any symptom or any dysfunction in the body or mind, there's usually at least a little bit of blocks or baggage contributing to it, if not causing the entire thing altogether. So you can really work on anything, but you have to be very specific, and you're going to want to restate it in something that you're experiencing. So say I have a thyroid condition. It'd be more effective, instead of saying like, well, I'm going to tap on my hypothyroidism, it'd be much more effective to go into sensations, into like whatever you're experiencing, whatever the symptoms are. And by addressing all the symptoms, it's going to be helping, but you don't want to, so we'll do that. So say like, oh, I feel so tired, and then get even more specific if you can. Like, I feel, my whole body feels like heavy. It's just like really heavy to move. It's so tired. So you can tap on that And then, so you want to bring it all down to how you're experiencing the diagnosis or the issue. You can also work on beliefs. And in fact, you might have to tap out the belief that EFT tapping doesn't work. So if that's coming to your mind of like, I don't think this is really going to work, then tap on that. Even though I believe that EFT tapping isn't going to work, I completely love and accept myself anyway. And then go through the whole thing. So you can do it on beliefs, you can do it on any problem you're having. Just bring it down to the sensation that, or the symptom that you're experiencing. Also, if you were trying to work on, you have a lot of baggage, a lot of wounds from your childhood, you wouldn't want to tap on all of my childhood baggage or trauma. That's just very vague, it's very general. Your body's not going to have very clear instructions, and it might start be like, okay, sure, like we have this whole like shelf, you know, array of like different blocks and baggage from your childhood, so we'll just start, you know, releasing some stuff out of there. But if you're much more specific, you're going to be able to feel the difference and get to the root faster. So you'd pick the way that I wall off if someone, so say part of your childhood baggage, the effect of it is that you feel fear anytime someone gets close, like if they want to give you a hug, or if they make a promise to you. Say you start to have a walling off, a tight constriction feeling or reaction to that, you could tap on that. Even though I feel constriction and fear when someone makes a promise to me, I completely love and accept myself anyway. So you want to bring it all down to like little bite-sized symptoms or issues. All right, so there you go. You can tap as often as you want to, every day. The wonderful thing is you don't need an appointment, you don't need a practitioner. You can do this on your own and be getting yourself cleaned out faster. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to, and also if you want to study more, this will do a lot of good for you, but there are even more detailed tapping routines and other things that you can do with tapping, so that's available as well. All right, well, happy tapping, guys. Enjoy getting your body cleaned out, releasing blocks and issues in your life, and I'll talk to you later.